All right, sorry I'm sweaty. I just finished training, but I decided now would be the best time to do my review of my performance in the last Tactical Games competition, which was in Searsboro, Iowa. This is our third time going there, my third time competing there, and I got first. I was very, very happy about that. Some really, really great girls competition-wise, so it was a really good push. But let's get to it. Let's talk about the events. So event one for me, the elite males, females, and a few others, we ran first, which was so good because I heard last year it was miserably hot. So through those fields, I swear those fields absorb the sun and it gets so, so warm. So for us, it was early in the morning, first event, 7:50ish, I think is when we kicked off, maybe 7:30. How it was for everyone else, it was a very windy, hilly loop through a very pretty field. It went around to about 1.6-ish or more miles. For everyone else, they were finished there, which, like I've said before, like I said in Holt, is the worst distance, in my opinion, to run, just under 2 miles, because that is an all-out sprint. That's a sprint. You can't really pace that amount of distance, so you're running pretty hard. That's really uncomfortable. For elites, we ran all the way around, went through the finish line, turned around, and did the whole thing backwards. So it ended up being right around 3 miles. I got third in that one. Katie Knight, she ran it. If you know anything about Katie, she's an ultramarathoner. I'm pretty sure she beat all the men except for Jacob Hepner, running at like probably under 7-minute per mile pace. She crushed that. So that was a really fun run. We had to run it in our plate carriers. Like I said, it was hilly, it was windy, good run. Happy with how I did overall in that one. The next event, another physical event. So our first two events of the day were no shooting. The next event was a little spin on the Ranger physical preparedness test. I think I'm saying that right. But Nick ended up naming that one Physical Farmer's Assessment. How it went was, it was an 800-meter run, 30 hand release push-ups, 100-meter sprint, 16 bag onto box reps, 50-meter farmer's carry, 50-meter bear crawls with the bag drag, and then 800-meter run. I did well on this one. Katie again crushed it, but I came in second behind her on this. We ended up finishing it. It was a 14-minute time cap, and from what I remember, every female did finish that. This is not the true Ranger test, Ranger physical assessment test, because after you do have to run 4 miles. We ran 3 miles before, had an hour or so more of rest, and then did this. So that was good. That was a nice early morning physical stuff. The next stage for us was Tick 2 gun, and it was another 100-point stage. I should say the first stage was 50 points. The second stage was only was 100 points, and then this stage was 100 points. This was a 2-gun stage. I am not thrilled with how I did on this one. I'm pretty confident in my rifle shooting now, but with stages like this that have such a fast par time, I can sometimes fixate on one missed target and waste all my time there, and that's exactly what happened. It started out with 6 speed plates at around rifle speed plates on you're shooting from a barricade at around 70 yards. Cleared those, no problem. Then you go to the first VTAC, and there were 5 targets, steel targets out in the field, ranging in from 200 yards, I believe. They were all within 200 yards. So for me, aim center a little high, maybe. But they were really hard to find, and none of them were painted. They were about the color of my shirt, hidden really far out in the field. Some of them you try to just go off of landmarks, that's the thing. If you're in unit tactical games and you do have a stage like this, try to make mental notes of landmarks. Okay, I know that this, the furthest one to the left is right next to the bent tree. The furthest one to the right is next to all these yellow flowers. That's basically how I went, but I did get fixated and could not figure out why. I was hit, and then just started missing on one of the ones that were out in the field, and then I just stayed there. and I should have moved on. And by the time I turned around to start the pistol thing, I asked Star, who was the RO, I was like, how much time? And then I heard beep. So I lost all those easy rifle points because I was spending too much time, or sorry, easy pistol points because I was spending too much time on rifles. So my advice for myself in the future is give myself a couple of shots and then just move on. I feel like a lot of other people did that and then did fine. Also, something I feel like I did well is I did not zoom in all the way. I do have a 3x18 LPVO, so I can zoom in and I can see really clearly. But whenever you do, you totally get lost in the scope, and you end up looking around through the scope. So I tried to make a really good point. My friend / coach told me as I'm transitioning, get my eye on where I'm going to shoot first, go ahead and spot that target, and then get behind the optic, which is something I did for the first few, and that helped a whole lot. So thankful for that advice. Hopefully it pays off even more next time. Was that it for day 2? 1, 2, 3. Nope, we got one more. Day one. Day one, we also had what's called trafficking. They named it trafficking. It was a wheelbarrow race, kind of. 4x12 rifle, 4x10 pistol. And then how this one worked was we had a vertical barricade you had to shoot behind. It wasn't as difficult as what I thought it was going to be. I am really comfortable, I've said this before, I'm really comfortable shooting off my left side. I should be left-handed, to be honest, when I shoot. So I did shoot off my left side. I'll upload a video so you can see what I'm talking about. But shoot rifle, then you have to go and you have to shoot pistol left-handed as well, or weak-handed, whatever. I shot really surprisingly well on this one. I was happy with how that went, but the wheelbarrow, a little bit of redemption from Sawmill. It wasn't nearly as far, it wasn't nearly as heavy. You could move it. It still, by the 4th round, got very, very heavy, but the loop that we did wasn't anything too bad. I'm just really glad we did not have to rope climb immediately after that, because that wheelbarrow is very grip intensive. But yeah, shooting was good. I really enjoyed the shooting on this whole weekend, I'll be honest. What did I feel like I could have done better on? Always being faster. I feel like I can always get into positions faster, but overall I feel like my shooting was decent on this one. I'll try to upload pictures if I remembered. I think my awesome friend Crystal took pictures for me because I didn't have my phone. Alright, so the weight. I'll tell you the weight for that one. For the wheelbarrow, it was a 25-pound plate in there, and then on the Call of Go we had to put a 100-pound sandbag in there and then pick up the wheelbarrow and go. So that was the end of day 1. I didn't look at the leaderboard after this because I was still upset about how my the 2-gun stage went. So I was like, I don't even want to know. All my best workouts are coming tomorrow, so it is what it is. We're just gonna get through it. And I ended up not looking because. And then the next day, my favorite stage. It's always your favorite stage when you do well. I did not know I was gonna do really well, but I did like this stage. So this one was called Ropes and Roofies. Kurt was the RO for this one, so it was extra special that he got to watch me dominate some rifle on this. I'm not normally an arrogant person, but I don't know if anyone else had 0 misses on rifle like me. I had 0 misses on rifle. How this one went. On the Call Go, for females, we had 1 rope climb every round. Males, you had a 1 and then a 2 and then a 1 and then a 2 and back and forth like that. So this was 5x7, both rifle and pistol. On the Call Go, get your butt up the rope. I did not video myself because some people from JP were videoing me. I think I do have a video of Jimmy though that I will upload or add on top of this. So anyways, on the Call go up the rope, come down. You're gonna be shooting rifle first, so you get to the rooftop. It's a position for shooting. I was very thankful that a friend told us to use 20-round magazines. That kept me lower and more stable. However, I was told by Jimmy afterwards, you defeated the point of using the 20-round magazines because I still floated my rail. I felt stable, and obviously it worked because I didn't miss any. So the yardage for the rifle shots were about 475. But they were huge rifle shots, and they had reflective lights. I felt like they were huge. I was happy with it. You shoot your rifle, shoot all 7, show clear, put your rifle down, get off the roof, go back, grab a pistol magazine, get up the rope, get down, go back to the firing line. Once your foot touches the firing line, then you can load and make ready and shoot your pistol. And the pistol was, I think I'd heard it was 18 yards. I don't pay attention much to pistol distance unless it's over 40 yards. But shot that. Of the 5x7, I only missed 2 total, which I was bummed about. I was like, oh, this was almost perfect. But that's just how it goes. That was the way that the event went, and I finished really well in that one. I think I was like 13 something, and then none of the other girls finished, and they are, let me tell you, phenomenal shooters. So I don't know if it was just the distance, the day. I mean, it happens to me too. I don't know if it was the distance on the rifle. I don't know what it is, but those girls should have definitely been better, and I have a feeling that if we were to redo it, they would all still crush it. I just finished ahead on that one, so that gained me a ton of percentage points, a lot of percentage points, and I really feel like that's what pushed me the furthest ahead, because again, I hadn't looked at the leaderboard up until that point. And then the next one was Epstein didn't call himself. This was a ski. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because I had a lot of discussion with other athletes and people at the Tactical Games about this one. I'm just going to explain it the best I can, give you a short synopsis of my opinion, and then let you know how it went. So, rifle pistol, 5x8, so it's 5 rounds. On the call of go, you had to do 3 sandbag over the yoke, and then on the call of go, within this 3-minute time window, you had to ski for as many calories as you wanted and shoot all of your rounds. So get 16 rounds off and ski. It was a point stage only. So however many calories you ski, I'm still sweating. However many calories you ski, and then however many shots you make, that's your points per round times 5 rounds. I talked to so many people about this. You could game this to where you didn't even shoot, and I didn't like that. I think that was a mistake made in the programming. I think there should have been a required shooting, or maybe even like a time domain to ski and a time domain to shoot, because if and I'm pretty fit, if I just ski and I don't shoot, it's for the rifle, it was 8 rounds that you were shooting for the rifle, right? Those counted for hits, 16 points. If you hit 100% of your rifle shots, and they were really hard shots. So I just told myself, okay, let's say I only, instead of hitting 8, let's say I hit 5. Okay, let's say it's a good day, not a good day. Let's say it's not a good day, I'm tired and I hit 5. So that's 10 points. I could have kept another minute on the skier and made up those calories on the ski. And then the pistol was through a port, which I did not initially think that I would do well at. So I was like, oh, and then pistol shots were only 1 point apiece. So that was 8. So I was like doing the math in my head. I'm like, I could not go to the firing line, load, make ready, shoot. I could save about 90 seconds and make up more calories, guaranteed calories, than taking the option of hitting on the target. So I don't know if that makes sense how I explained that, but that's what was our issue. So us as girls, we looked at each other and we're like, hey, we know this is a flaw in the programming. Let's all just tell each other we're going to shoot. For the love of the sport. It's a shoot. We had 2 fitness only stages the first day. For the love of the sport, let's say we're all going to shoot, so that I can't look at Crystal and be like, have fun shooting. I'm going to get my guaranteed 20 something calories here while you're up there trying to make your shots. So anyways, that's how that one went. Katie, I will say she did get off and shoot. She shot rifle only. Some people did that. Some people said, hey, this is a tough pistol shot, but the rifle shot's double, so I'm going to at least get off with a minute left, and do the math on how much you think you could ski in a minute. I could ski 16 calories in a minute. But anyways, tired. Let's just say, and I saw a lot of people get tired that were trying to ski. So a lot of people did only shoot rifle, and then turn out pretty well for them. That's what Katie did, and it did turn out really well for her. I didn't see where we were at because we were next to each other, but my judge, who just happened to be my husband, told me that we were pretty close into the last round, and she decided to stay on and hit a bunch of extra calories, and that bumped her ahead, and then she did win that event. At the end of the day, it's competition, and that's what I told the other girls too. It's competition. I don't think it'll be written like that at nationals. I don't think that they'll give us the choose your own adventure style and it played to the hand of the more physical. I don't think that'll happen, but it is what it is. If that's what it is, it's what happened. So anyway, sorry, I spent way too much time on that one. The next one and last one. Did I skip one? No, I guess I didn't. 1, 2, 3. No, I guess I didn't. No, I did. The first one that I did that day. Oops, go back. The first one I did on the second day. Reverse rifle speed plate. Really easy, quick one to talk about. It is standing rifle on the Call of Go. You have 6 targets. There were 50 yards. 6 targets you have to hit. Boop, boop, boop. The thing about these targets, and the thing about targets sometimes is when you are looking through an optic and you're listening for bang, ding, bang, ding. Sometimes different steel plates sound differently, and there was one muted plate because I saw a couple of girls in front of me hit it, and I was like, ooh. And then I'm looking at the next target, and they're still shooting at the one they hit. You have to be careful with that, and I told us we can't tell them, you got it, move on, because that totally eats into your time if you're used to a certain ping noise, and then you don't hear it, or you don't completely see it, but you still hit it, you can spend a bunch of time because you don't want to miss. Skipping something completely is a huge miss, so you could waste a bunch of time trying to make up that shot when you didn't have to. So anyways, it was 6 shots of rifle. Do a manual or automatic, what's the word I'm like? Mandatory, that's the word I'm looking for. You had to do a mandatory reload, go prone, shoot them again, which was good. I did well on this. I got second. Crystal crushed it. Christy would have crushed it. She always crushes it, but she had that happen. And she had a magazine issue. A couple of girls had a magazine issue. That's the hard thing about these stages, the fast ones. It was only 50 points instead of 100. That's the thing about these fast stages. You're always like, just don't drop a magazine, or don't load a magazine wrong, or don't forget to charge your rifle, something crazy like that, or don't get a jam. That's the scary thing about those. That was the beginning of the day. Now let's talk about the last workout of Sunday. Big tuna. This one was 4x8 rifle pistol with a big old ruck bag on. I hate standing freestyle, and that's how this was shooting. I hate standing freestyle with a ruck. I need to practice that more. Dry fire. Note to self, I need to practice that more. Rifle was standing freestyle. It was about 50 yards, and pistol standing freestyle as well. So how this one worked was on the Call of Go, you went up this hill. It's a popular hill in Iowa. You went up a big long hill and back, and then you shot your rifle, then you shot your pistol rounds. You shot 8 rounds of rifle, 8 rounds of pistol. You collect penalties as you're doing this. So for every penalty, there's another very famous hill in Iowa that is an up, over, back down, up, around. I would say it takes about, at a moving good pace, a minute and a half. Add the fact that it was literally a slip and slide, all the mud, a massive, huge 1 foot deep puddle at the bottom. It took even longer. So after the first round, when I turned around to my judge, who just so happened to be my husband, and he told me I had 6 penalties, I was like, I just shot so well earlier. I didn't believe him at first, but he's like, no, you have 6 penalties. What you had to do is you had to run up the hill, and then on your way back down, you had to do your penalty laps. I had 6 of them. I was like, well, I'm just going to be here all day. But luckily a few other girls got penalties. I moved around that hill. Of the 4 rounds, only shot 2. Christy was in her 3rd round, but the way it was written of 10 seconds per penalty, 10 seconds, and you had to make up your penalties. So for example, I got 6 penalties on the first round. If I came back and I shot, and then I think the second round I got 3 penalties of the 16. When I came back and went up the hill and came back, if I don't complete those penalty laps, it's 30 seconds. And you can't just be like, I'm not going to do the laps. You have to do the laps. So if I didn't make it to that, it would be a 30-second penalty. Well, someone could have gotten 3 penalty rounds on the first one, saved a whole bunch of time because I'm still walking my 6 laps, gone back and shoot, and say they got 3 penalty rounds on the second one. I'm catching up to them that by this point, I'm technically only going to lose by them if we're getting close to the time cap by 30 seconds. And that's what happened. Christy was the only one to get back to the firing line for that third round. Everyone else was still coming down the hill and then didn't have time to make up their penalty laps. So I didn't shoot poor enough, I guess is what I'm saying. I didn't shoot poor enough for it to hurt me so bad in the percentages that it could have. So I hope that makes sense how I explained that. That's really just how my brain thinks of it, is as I was coming down and I was like, oh my gosh, Crystal is she shot better than me. She's down the hill, which for the hill alone took so much time to get down. She's getting down the hill. She's going to get close to doing her penalty laps. She didn't. And I'm like, oh, well, however many penalties she has, which she had 2, and she did way better than me on round 1. She had 2. She didn't have time to get to her penalty laps. I had 3 penalties. She only beat me by 10 seconds, which 10 seconds on paper would have been a minute and probably 2 minutes. Let's say if I'm booking it, a minute and a half worth of work on that hill. So the penalty work to penalty on paper did not match up, but it worked out to my advantage, and sometimes that happens. Overall, really fun weekend. I'm glad it did not rain the whole time. I think we will be competing in Arizona the month before nationals. I personally like to try to compete before nationals unless I can find something local that I can do just to get that good feeling of competition in my blood before. If not, it'll be nationals. So, all right, have a good rest of your day.